So if you've been in the smart home world, whether you've been in it for several years or you're just a brand new person to it, everybody really sometimes just needs a remote, sometimes to
Yo, OG, your mother requests your presence outside. Yo, OG, your mother requests your presence outside. Now, like literally right now.
Oh my god, not again! But ma'am!
because we can't be bothered to pull out the phone and scroll and wait for an app to load, or maybe you just need something to turn the lights on and off. Just a simple quick remote that will toggle things or set scenes or close shades, open shades, do whatever, because sometimes you can't fully make a smart home and you still need a remote control home. Well, that's where it leads down to. Sometimes there's some great remotes, and then sometimes there's not so great remotes. So yeah, it's going to cut to the chase and go over two awesome remotes that I love and the little things about them, and two others not so great. Now we're just going to lean more towards Home Assistant things and the pros and cons of some of these devices, because that's where I run and do all my home automation, Home Assistant, Node Red, etc., and probably where you should too. If you haven't played with Home Assistant before, definitely check out some other videos. It's pretty awesome of being able to take all kinds of devices and ecosystems and pile them all into one, and then you just have one app. And then the awesome thing is you can use a bunch of different brands of remotes and pick the ones that you like. But then there's sometimes some remotes that don't even work with Home Assistant, which we'll go over. Down to where one of my favorites, I'll start off right with that one, is the new Shelly. It's the new Shelly remote. This is the US model. I don't know if they have like an EU model or other different countries, whatever it may be. But what makes this one so great is this is the standard Decora plate right here. And this is also a plate that you can stick somewhere or whatever. And then the remote itself, it's magnetic. It sticks right there. There's 4 buttons. And then you get, I want to say it's 4 options per button, which is a lot. You're going to forget them. But maybe not, because the way I like to do some of my automations is button 1, I may say like single press turns it on. And that'll say like turn on both fans or something. Well, then I do like double press. That's just 1 fan. So you group them per button, because you do get long press and up to triple press for these. Now, you may be saying, well, what about, do I need to flash it or anything or do some crazy shit, Travis? No, absolutely not. That's where one of the favorite things is about this remote is it's ready out the box, works with Home Assistant Bluetooth, which is going to be whether you have a Bluetooth adapter on your server or your box, or the awesome part, if you've followed some of my stuff, you've done some Bluetooth proxies, now you can have a remote that goes all around the house, even in the backyard, and controls things without any distance issues. Now, the cool part is they do give you this Decora plate, which is also right there. It's magnetic. You can actually have it in the wall. So say you have it controlling some smart lights, you can leave it right there, control things in there, set scenes, do what you want to do. Hopefully the kids don't lose the remote, but it does have a Bluetooth beacon mode, so you could find that remote if they lose it in the couch. So they're fairly inexpensive, and like I say, they work right out the box with Home Assistant. Now, if you are not doing Home Assistant, you're just doing the Shelly thing, if you use the Gen 3 stuff, you can just pair it with the app and rock and roll. That's what I love about Shelly. One of the things is they acknowledge the Home Assistant users and also allow you to do the cloud or local, whatever it may be. Pretty awesome stuff from Shelly. Now, another one I do love and like is the Zooz. It is Z-Wave. Now, it's not my favorite, and the reason why is because it's Z-Wave. And you say, whoa, wait, well, Z-Wave's great, Travis, supposedly, right? Well, yeah, but the problem is, I'll say Z-Wave, you have to do another integration, another component, you got another USB thing. It's just a little bit more to get there versus the Bluetooth stuff. Bluetooth proxy, I can buy a Shelly plug, just a little plug that you plug in, smart plug, and turn on Bluetooth and Home Assistant, and boom, I've got a Bluetooth proxy straight out the box. No having to do any special software and stuff. It's just right there. So, but if you've done the Z-Wave thing, the Zooz stuff, is fairly close to what that one is, except it's going to be Z-Wave. Now the buttons, there are 4 buttons, just like that one, but there's 2 small ones and there's 2 larger buttons, and you do get like long press, double press, etc. Now one thing you do get is also you probably can't see on the camera, but there's actually an LED to show that you have pressed the button. It is magnetic, just like the other one. They give you a Decora plate. So the cool thing about this one is this part right here. It is USB-C, and that allows you to charge the damn thing up. So no having to change coin cell batteries or AA, AAA, whatever it is. And these things last forever, it seems like. I've been having it paired with my network, and I haven't seen the battery come down at all. Now, you want to do a keep it simple, stupid. The KISS principle is, this is just a single. One of my favorite, if I can get it out the dang out of the box, is by Third Reality. Why you say one of my favorite companies for doing Zigbee stuff? Yeah, it's Third Reality. They actually stay involved with Home Assistant, Zigbee to MQTT, and make sure all their products are in the software and work. And then the awesome part is, and some of you may not know this, it's actually a rule with the company, is to use these right here. Yep, those are AAA batteries. You can put in rechargeables. They don't use coin cells. If you go back and look at some of the Third Reality stuff, and you'll see all the time it's AAA batteries. And even a little bonus, nothing to do with this video, is their new plant sensor is also AA. They've changed the rule a little bit, but no coin cell for your plant sensors. That's pretty slick. Now where the wheels fall off, these 2 guys, or gals, whatever you want to call them. Sorry, SwitchBot. Sorry, Linexera. It seems to be a lot of these companies, these smart home companies, are following the gaming companies. Is hurry up and release it and fix it in post. Because everybody's going to test them and everything, and then we'll just push software updates and hopefully get it right. Unify. This remote, it looks great. Great hardware. Software sucks. It is rechargeable, USB-C on the bottom. It has a little screen on it. It's very dim, I find, at times, but you don't need it bright because it'd be right there. But the problem is, I couldn't get it to really control much. And I'll show some stuff here as I talk in the app. It has like Apple TV, Fire TV. Now, of course, if you have their hub and you have all their Bluetooth shades and Bluetooth this and all their ecosystem and their hub and their SwitchBot, their little push button things, it's going to work just fine, and you can control those with the remote, even down to controlling the vacuum they have that we called Maverick. But yeah, I couldn't get it to pair up anything. I wanted to trigger some lights that I have in Home Assistant. Going back to that Home Assistant thing, is I have a lot of different brands, a lot of different stuff and everything, and I would want it to trigger scenes and everything right in Home Assistant, but you can't do that just yet. They supposedly say that's coming, possibly, but yeah, that's not there. I can't find it. And the internet shows IR in the app as well, but I can't find out how to configure it to like do my mini split. It just seems to be tied to a few things shown here in the app. So maybe when this finally gets off the ground, we'll do more with it. And then we're down to, as Linexera or Linexera, whatever, however you want to say it. Looks like Linux Ura or Urine. I don't know. There's a big problem with this one. I've had it sitting on my desk for a while. Been waiting and waiting for them to come out with the Home Assistant that they say is planned. It's not here yet. As I'm recording the video, it's not. Here's another problem. It says no internet.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. I forgot.
Why the hell do I want a remote to control all of my local stuff for Home Assistant that needs the internet? A remote? I'm not too solid on that one just yet. And the current list of things is not that great. I didn't have anything even cloud-based I found I could control with it. So I'm just really stuck with this pretty $100 remote. It is like this little click wheel, and you can push things on it. It does have a USB-C port on the bottom for recharging. It's like this e-ink display, but there's not a whole lot to it right now. It says power off, so let's see if we can get it to unblock. So once I did unblock it, you can actually see you can click this little thing and you can set up icons on the app. It has a lot of potential, pretty slick, but if it's cloud-based, especially with Home Assistant, and that's it, I was gonna say But hopefully they'll do like an MQTT or, I don't know, some sort of API straight into Home Assistant and keep it local. It'll be a pretty cool remote. So if they do an upgrade for that, I'll pop it in another video to show you. So I guess I've been rambling off long enough. Let me just show you how hard, which is totally sarcasm, it is to pair up and use the Shelly remote in Home Assistant. It's pretty awesome straight out the box. So really just take it out the box and push the button a couple of times. Should light up. There's not even a battery tab on the thing. It's that simple. And then open up Home Assistant. Now, if you don't have Bluetooth proxies or Bluetooth, probably check out some of my videos on how to do Bluetooth proxy. It's pretty damn simple. Once you've done that, you should get a notification down here in your Home Assistant. Probably going to be saying about, hey, you got a new device, BT Home. You can see right there, Shelly blue button, and this E9D6 is actually the last 2 digits of the hex address for the MAC ID. And you can rename that. Definitely please do that, because and maybe label the back of the remote or something like that, because you might get them confused if you have a bunch of them. Just hit configure. It's going to hit, hey, you want to do it? Submit. Yep. You can add the area if you want. I don't. Just hit finish. Boom. Then in BT Home, E9D6, and I'll zoom in so you can see, is you'll notice it just says button 2, button 3. Well, it's probably the buttons I've been pushing. So I just pushed button 1, here's button 2, here's button 3, and here's button 4. And you can see it's saying, you know, I pressed, 3 seconds ago. If I do like double press, so there's double press, and there's triple press, and I think there's even, if you do long, I double pressed it on accident, you get the long press, and that's for each individual button. And it's that stupid simple. And then you want to do automations on it, you hit the automation button, say, hey, I want to use this device as a trigger, so I want to do a long press of button 4, or I want to just press button 4. There's all kinds of stuff on what you just want to press button 3. You say what you want to do with that event. I want to say add an action, and say I want to do a light. I want to turn a light off, or I want to toggle a light. It'd be kind of stupid to do turn on or off. Do a toggle, and then come down here and pick the actual entity of what light you want to toggle. My Zigbee G-LED 12-watt light, say I want to turn that off. And then behind my head over here, there is the save button. And I want to say, that way I know I can take that back out. And it should be when I press button 3, the light actually goes off. It's kind of hard to see. It's a slight fade out on my globe of my head, if you see it there. But pretty simple, just set up a simple little remote without doing any flashing crap or anything. It's awesome. It's from Shelly. You can do the same thing, of course, with the Z-Wave remotes. They're pretty much the same for like presses and events and everything, setting all your automations. Pretty badass. If you know some other remotes out there with Home Assistant or something we could use like Bluetooth that's not something totally DIY. I know we're do digiblur DIY, but sometimes building your own remote just absolutely sucks, especially for battery life and everything else. It's just some of these cool rechargeable stuff. Like you can get this Zooz one like on sale sometimes for like 20 bucks. So what's your time worth? And it's also a pretty nice little device for 20 bucks. They're a little bit more, they're not on sale, but Yeah, you know, some other stuff out there that's pretty cool and does work for remotes. Definitely let me know down in the comments below. Maybe we'll cover it in a future video. So that'll about do it for this one. I do appreciate all the Patreon members, YouTube members. I definitely couldn't do it without you. And you know the drill. Press all them buttons, and y'all take care.
This is my new TV. I sometimes stay in here and watch it for hours. I love this TV.